discuss whether binge TV watching is harmless or maybe a sign of something else. And we welcome you to the program.
Hi, thank you very much. Glad to be here. It's a sign of depression. It's not a good thing. And your body needs energy. Your body needs to have certain rhythms every day. And, the most energy you have is 10 o'clock in the morning till around 12. And if you don't use it, you do feel lethargic and you can get depressed.
Now, binge watching actually was coined, I guess, in a way, a survey conducted by Netflix that discovered people watching 2 to 6 episodes of the same show in one sitting. I know a lot of times people might try to catch up with certain programs, series, and things like that. Another example, I guess, is all the events at the Oscars last night. If you watch the pre-Oscars, the awards themselves, and all the post-game, you ended up binge watching a lot of TV. Myself, on a Sunday afternoon when it's football season, will not mind at all to watch several games in a row. Are all these tendencies that reflect across the board of depression?
Well, that's true. You get pulled in, and after a while it's hard to leave, and you want to know what you're going to miss, but then the day goes by. And it's not only binge watching, it's anything having to do with our modern day technology. We seem to tend to enjoy being taken care of. Even with the gaming, there is this virtual reality that we get involved with that our lives go by. And these kids who do this every day, a couple hours a day, they become obese and longevity is at risk. So it's a modern-day way of living today that isn't good for you in general, not only with binge watching.
I guess a cynic might say that it might be a sign that somebody knows how to organize their time and have a little left over, or maybe they're not utilizing their time wisely by spending so much time in front of the TV itself. Certainly obesity and some of the other factors to poor health of being inactive, we are reminded that we need to get up and move around and do various things. A lot of times they'll say that kids or even adults really shouldn't spend more than 2 hours at a time in front of the TV. If somebody does this occasionally, is that the sign of problems to come, or is it just once somebody is consumed by watching so many hours over and over that's when the red flags go up?
Right. Just doing it for downtime, there's nothing wrong with that. We all need a break. Sometimes I watch TV, and I don't even remember what I saw when I was finished watching, but I did get my break. It's just when you're consumed in such a way that it takes over your life. And, even at night when you're watching television or on the computers or whatever gadgets you have, there's this blue light that keeps you awake. And so you keep on perpetuating what you're doing, and you get worse and further trouble. But in the morning, when you're doing this, it really keeps you awake like a cup of coffee. And research has shown that that's even better. It keeps you awake longer than several cups of coffee. So that blue light does have its benefits when it's done at the right time. But you're drugged. You're seeing other people doing activities. You're seeing other people have fun. And it does take away confidence as well. Because if everybody else is doing all the right things and you're comparing yourself to them, such as the Oscars, all these women look gorgeous with their figures and their outfits. And they say that young girls get depressed because they do compare themselves to these role models that they can never achieve in magazines that are airbrushed on television, that they're made up to look perfect. So it's not a good thing to have these kind of role models around us.
Well, I know you referred to as the blue light, and of course that's the TV or the computer screen, and a lot of times people having a challenge of kind of tearing themselves away from the computer or the TV before going to bed. But for a lot of people, that blue screen follows them to bed because many people have the apps and the programs on their phone to be able to continue to surf the net or text or whatever else they do, the young people, it seems like they, they'll spend a lot of hours once they are in bed, not sleeping, and texting and depriving themselves further of the restful sleep.
Well, you're right. It's become their companion. I have a 14-year-old, and he says to me, "Ma, I have 150 friends," and I say, "Where are they?" And he says, "Well, they're on my computer. I do gaming with them every day." So he doesn't have any friends that come over. He doesn't really do anything physical. He just is happy in this little world that he's made, where everybody is winning some games that is set up to win. So, what does that mean? Our lifestyles being redefined, and they absolutely are. We used to be more oriented towards connecting with people around us, our communities. That's not the case anymore. The younger generation orients themselves around their own disciplines and their own accomplishments, but there's not this outer connectedness that's really missing. And just talking on the phone, they don't do that either anymore.
Yeah, believe me. I have two daughters. They're grown now, but at one time I had a car full of them, and they're all kind of giggling with nobody talking. I'm like, what's up with that? And realized they're all texting each other in the car,
They're texting each other.
Now, friends, to me, is somebody who will come over or who you will go out with. As far as the gaming community and stuff, I guess I'd have to call them associates, not really friends. If you've not met them, how do you call them friends, right?
To them, that's as close as they've gotten to friends. So to make themselves feel that they're in mainstream, they say what it is necessary to say, but they're all in it together. So at least it doesn't mean that you've isolated yourself from the world at large, but depression does set in because when you're not moving your body and you're just sitting there, you're missing out on a vital part of life. And these younger generations don't know to compare that, just like the older generations don't know that the computer doesn't have to be part of who they are. We're not attached to these things, although sometimes it seems like we are. I mean, for my birthday, I received a watch that has a cell phone that I can email, I can text, I can do anything this large computer that I'm sitting in front of right now can do. So, I mean, it's good because I can finally get to the gym without missing any calls, but it's not good because I'm constantly wired. There's no place for me to go and say, okay, I can forget about everything now. There's another time in my life here. So that's the other extreme. So one is having too much downtime with this technology, with this new technology we have. And the other part is being too glued to it all the time, that it's, every day, 7 days a week, that we're on call. And that's just the new modern generation as well. They're always wired 24/7. They're always part of something that's going on.
As you observe human characteristics and behaviors, I don't know if you're familiar with the movie Stepford Wives, but are you concerned that maybe the course of the habits that people are taking on now, where they isolate themselves more, that they become less emotional, more desensitized to things, and almost robotic, maybe, without the interaction of other people around?
That's an excellent point. I never looked at it that way, but it's also true because they're very action-oriented. They're very oriented towards a goal rather than towards emotions or reading other people appropriately, because that in itself, reading someone, takes time. When a child goes out with the parents are a role model, and the child learns how to respond and behave in certain circumstances. But when you don't have that learning process, then you are able to just disconnect and feel you're not missing out on anything. I mean, when I was a child, I remember my parents used to make a lot of parties and gatherings, and I didn't really want to be part of it, but I served. And the reason I wanted to serve was that I wouldn't have to worry about my behavior, but I could listen and learn about the people around me, and that's how I evolved into a certain comfort level. The younger generation doesn't have, or actually they don't give themselves those opportunities, and it is a concern.
Certainly our time schedules, our various things that dictate more or less what we do during the day. Many people have discussed the fact that there are no more family meals. Used to be dinner time. Everybody kind of came together and gave an assessment of how their day was, and everybody interacted with each other and actually spoke with sincerity about did you have a good day today at school and this and that. Well, without the dinner time meal, everybody coming and going at the different times, used to families would sit down and play board games which there was interaction and they actually looked at each other. I'm a gamer too, and I'll sit there with a control in my hand, but certainly you're focused on the screen. You're not communicating with the person next to you so much, and you don't have that interaction that a simple board game once provided. It may be harder to kind of corral the kids back into the kitchen and have a sit-down dinner or have a board game evening or something like that, but I guess parents or anybody that sees the value of that should at least make an effort to try to reel that back in.
Well, you're absolutely right. And how do we do this? Because there are televisions in every room, even in the kitchen. And even when we do sit down, there's something else to look at. I mean, the best time my kids had, we had a blackout and we had nothing to do. And when it was over, they asked if they could play those games again, which I never did before. So television does make you into a zombie, and you do forget what you watch after you're finished watching. And it's an easy escape, an easy babysitter. And going back to the way things used to be, we used to watch television in one room. And during commercials, we would sit and talk. Or my mother would read a book, or my father would be doing something else. But we'd be together. Here, everybody's in their own room, doing their own thing, and keeping company with gadgets that really can't give them back the same kind of quality relationship that you can get back, as you said, when you're sitting at a table and eating and just respecting what the other person has to say. It's gotten so bad that in my house, everyone likes to eat something different. And everyone wants something at different times. The only way to get that going is to just put it on the table and say, this is what we're eating today, and this is the time we're eating. You can come and join us or not, but this is the last time I'm serving. And then the kitchen is closed. But it's sad that we have to go to that kind of extent. But also, partners helping each other. When two people are working and one comes home at a different time and wants to eat different at a different time, that makes it more difficult today as well.
Well, it is sad that more or less the home has become like an apartment complex. It's more or less a collection of individuals living in a structure. And really, families that are still families occupying a home, it's best to realize the value of being a family and really tapping into everyone in the family, just to soak up each other while we still have an interest in doing that.
People don't really appreciate that enough, because the biggest pleasure you can have is being with your family, not what's out there, but what you already have. To go ahead and take advantage of that, because those moments are fleeting moments, and people don't stay the same. Kids get older, and interests change, and to be able to capture that. I remember when I took my older children to we went away for the weekend, and a couple came up to us and said, "I envy you. My children will not do this with us anymore." And the reason my kids did do that was because we constantly took them with us. We constantly were close to them and made sure that what we did was something that they would want to do. So we took them on cruises. We went to Europe with them, everywhere, and we were really fortunate that we could have those memories. So yes, it's very important to put your energy into making sure that the family has wonderful experiences together, because there's nothing that can be better than that.
Well, Dr. Birnbaum, I'm coming up on a break here, but I do want to give you a chance to give websites, and also you're author of What Price Power an in-depth study of professional women in a relationship. Where can they find your books and find more about you?
Well, I have a website, Dr. D-O-C-T-O-R, Frieda. That's my radio shows that I'll be doing. My book is What Price Power. It's on Amazon.com, and I am a motivational speaker where I have speaking tours around the country right now, and keeping busy. That's what I do.
All right. Well, we certainly appreciate you being with us today.
Yes. Thank you very much. I enjoyed our conversation. I enjoyed the show. Thank you.
Thank you.
Take care. Bye-bye.